Hey guys, Game Prime here, and I am back for the first time in a while doing a prediction video, this time for the Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase, whatever the hell they're calling it today. It is happening in just about 3 hours at 9 a.m. I am crazy. I'm going to stay up and watch it. It is 5 a.m. now, so it is time for some last minute predictions, thoughts, and things happening. Normally, I would do this on my multiplayer channel, 4Player Gamers, on our loading screen podcast, but alas, it is not a regular Nintendo Direct. It is nothing normal. So here I am on my channel doing this by myself, which is totally fine because I seem to go on forever about this kind of stuff. But yeah, they put out a tweet just earlier today or yesterday, however you want to look at it now. New Direct Mini Partner Showcase is on the way. Watch on demand via our YouTube channel beginning Tuesday, June 28th at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for roughly 25 minutes of info on third-party Nintendo Switch games. So automatically this means this is going to be a video that goes live at 9 o'clock. It's not going to be live streamed like a normal Direct would. So this means people can skip right to the end of it and see what the big reveal is. I'm not going to do that, probably. I'm probably going to try and suffer through it all, but the good thing about it being on demand is that if there is something that I need to get past and get by, I don't have to friggin' suffer through any games that I'm not interested in or don't want to see. So it could be a quicker watch for me, and I might do a watch along with it, might make a video of it, see how it goes around 9 a.m. because that's late for me, and then I want to edit it and get it out right away, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, we're here for predictions. Don't know how many people will see this video before it goes live, but I figured why not, I'm staying up, might as well do it. So, I'm going to start with the big one for me. The big one for me, the thing I want to see the most at this Direct mini third-party partner showcase, is the rumored GoldenEye 007 port. I was very shocked not to see this happen at Xbox's event earlier this summer, or earlier this month, how am I saying? After it's been rumored for a while, the achievements and stuff showed up on Microsoft's website, and people have found achievements from Rare employees who have unlocked them within the game. So it's obviously a working game. They have a version of it working and able to get achievements, and I think they're just kind of waiting on the moment to press the green button for it to go live for everybody, because it's been pretty much done for 14 years. This is something that they've been working on since 2008, I believe, and then they had to can it because of legal problems with Nintendo and MGM, who were the owners of James Bond and stuff like that. So, that's why it didn't come out last year. The beta for it got leaked online, which was awesome to see. People actually got to play it, put it on modded 360s, have like a whole odd online community for it. So that was cool to see. Glad to see it got the light of day, and that could have been the spark that reignited the flame for Microsoft and hell, even Nintendo, for bringing GoldenEye back. And then there's also reports of Nintendo letting GoldenEye get unbanned in some country where it was banned for a while, and they had to go through Nintendo, or Nintendo had to go to them, or they had to go through Nintendo to get it unbanned, something like that. But it's been Nintendo at the helm for all of it, so I feel like if GoldenEye is going to show up, it will be today, and I'm going to put it here because I don't know if anybody's predicted this way yet. I think we're going to get two versions of GoldenEye 007. I think we will get this game added to the 64 online service, so you could play the game in its original 4:3 aspect ratio and play it directly from a 64 ROM that they have loaded onto their 64 Switch Online emulator. That, I think, will happen. But I also think that we will get that remastered version for $15, $20, how much ever they want to put a price on it, and you could play online with your friends, and you could play maybe even cross play with Xbox. Maybe that's what's taken them so long. They've been figuring out a new way to do online with it. So yeah, who the hell knows what they're gonna do with this? But I think we're gonna end up with two versions of GoldenEye, and I think it's very likely to happen today because it did not happen at all at Xbox's event. There are two events actually that they had, and I was very surprised because that would have been a big deal. But I think today, if there's anything that they're gonna do, GoldenEye has a good chance of being there. Next up, while we are on the topic of 64 games, I think there's a small chance that we could see some Nintendo 64 games pop up to be added onto the service, because this month we had Pokemon Snap just get added, and that is our last game that's going to be added on there as far as we know for now, because when they had the announcement of all the games last year in the September Direct, when they initially revealed all the games, it led up to June, and I was like, okay, that's perfect timing for a E3 Direct where they could show more games coming to the service. Now, the thing with this is that this is primarily a third-party showcase. I don't think Nintendo themselves are going to show up with anything first-party wise. However, they might need permission from a certain other organization, company, to show their old first-party games, which are now technically third-party. So, what I'm getting at is Diddy Kong Racing, BanjoKazooie, Perfect Dark, maybe, GoldenEye, obviously, and maybe something like Blast Corps. I don't think they've added any rated M games on there yet, so Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct Gold, and Conker's Bad Fur Day will all be possibly very hard to put on there unless they do something like what Rare Replay did, where it gives you a warning before you enter the game. They especially need that for Conker's Bad Fur Day. But also depends on the age of your Nintendo account. Maybe they'll lock you out of playing specific games. Who knows? But aside from just Microsoft's third-party games now that they could put on there, there's a bunch of other well-known third-party 64 games, like any of the Star Wars games, even though that some of them have gotten remasters. They could just easily put Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on there. I don't really know any other like big third-party 64 games that they could put on here. Let's see. I don't really know. Top-selling 64 games. Let's see. Best-selling N64 games. Let's see which one of these are third-party. GoldenEye, third-party. Pokemon Stadium, not third-party. Donkey Kong 64, they could also add on there because it's Rare. It would technically be third-party, just saying, because it is Rare and it's Microsoft now. So that does, to me, fall under the category of third-party. BanjoKazooie, like I mentioned. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Shadows of the Empire. Perfect Dark, like I mentioned. Rogue Squadron. Can't put any of the wrestling games on there because they just don't put wrestling games on these services because of the change from WWE or from WWF to WWE, the buyout of WCW, people who have done things that they don't want popping up in pop culture anymore, stuff like that. So that's probably not going to happen. Cruising USA would be cool to see. Same with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater I see on here. That one won't happen because of all the licensed music tracks. Turok Dinosaur Hunter, that would be a cool one to see. I would love to see them put the Turok games on 64 online. Namco Museum 64. That's pretty much all the games I see on the Wikipedia list. But they could put any of them on the service. You know, you have much more than Rare's catalog to choose from, even though Rare has a good chunk of the 64 under their belt. But I would love to see that. I'd love to see them put some Rare games on there. Let's get some small things out of the way. Even though they're not really small. Batman Arkham Collection, I think, has a decent chance of being there. That's been rumored for a hot minute. It'd be cool to have those games on there. They're old enough, especially Asylum and City, 2008 and 2011, respectfully. They're old enough to get ported to the Switch and not have a lot of problems going on with it. Hell, City got ported to the Wii U with the Armored Edition, so they could probably do something with that. Maybe some of the features from the Armored Edition can make its way into the Switch, even though I know a lot of that had to do with gamepad. Who knows what they could do with that, but I think that's possible. Genshin Impact, I think, could get a release date, because that's been rumored for a while. Spongebob Cosmic Shake I have written down. I don't think this will be shown because THQ has their showcase in August, where I think they'll just do a full big blowout of the game. However, they could show it, and they could be like, tune in to THQ showcase in August for more info, yada yada yada. Who knows? Devil May Cry 4 and 5. 4, I don't think is on the Switch yet. I could see that finally getting a port. 5 is rough because that's a PS4 game. It's very heavy on graphics. But Capcom can do amazing things with their engine and the Resident Evil engine that they have. So who knows if they can maybe scale that down a little bit and put in one of the best games I've played in a long time on the Switch. That would be really cool. Also rumored is Nier Automata or Replicant. One of those Nier games can make its way to the Switch. I think that's very possible. Maybe a release date for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection. We just had Shredder's Revenge come out, and it's been a huge success. People have been dying and losing it over that game, and I played a couple levels myself. It's very fun. I can't wait to actually play it with my friends and get through more of the game because I'm waiting for them. I think a big thing that could be shown, I saw this on somebody's comment on some prediction video that I was watching, a Chrono Trigger HD pixel remake in the style of like all the pixel HD things that they've been doing with the Final Fantasy remasters, remakes. I think those have also good possibilities of showing up, but Chrono Trigger would be a big deal, and if it looks anything like Octopath or Project Triangle Strategy, stuff like that with that visual art style, I think people would just go apeshit, because people love Chrono Trigger, but they also have to be careful with it, because I know that there's couple versions of it. There's the original Super Nintendo version, there's the PC version, and the DS version. And I think they all have different stuff within them. So if they do it, they'll have to do it right. They have to include everything to make it the most complete and perfect version of Chrono Trigger that we've seen. And I would really like that, because I've started Chrono Trigger a couple times, but I never got to finish it. And I know a lot of people say it's their favorite game of all time. It's one of the best JRPGs of all time. Has one of the greatest stories, one of the greatest soundtracks. So it sounds like it's really up my alley. So I will definitely get to that someday, and I would love to see that show up in 3 hours. Crash Bandicoot Wumpa League, another game that's been rumored, heavily rumored for a long damn time. There's always a chance. I don't think it's a high chance, but there's always a chance. It would be cool to see that get revealed here and, you know, see what kind of game that is. Let's nail two with one stone here. These two are very gigantic games, widely loved. One was pretty much rumored yesterday or the day before that to show up. That game is Red Dead Redemption 2, and then the other game I was talking about was GTA 5. How the hell could they have these games running natively on Switch? I don't know. We saw the GTA trilogy come out last year. It did not do that great. So I will be humored to see what they do with these two if they ever put them on Switch. Will it be cloud? Hope not. That's a lazy approach. But we shall see there. I like GTA 5. I played a lot of the online when it first came out. Hell, even before heists. Had a good time with it. But I haven't gone to it in many years. Red Dead 2 I played for a couple hours and I couldn't honestly really get into it. I thought it was way too detailed and way too heavy on the choices and the care and the, you know, all the stuff you got to care about with your character, your horror, stuff like that. I kind of just wanted to play the game, explore the world, and not have to worry about my beard stinking or beard getting too long, getting malnourished, shit like that. But that's just my opinion. I know people love the game, and I'm happy for them. And if you're a Red Dead fan looking for another version of the game coming to Switch, I hope you guys get it today. That would be big news, and especially if it runs natively. Let's see what else I have written down. Two games that I would love to see shown up. Possibility now, since they're so buddy-buddy with Microsoft, are the two Psychonauts games. Psychonauts 1 and Psychonauts 2. These games are fantastic. Not without their flaws, of course, but I played Psychonauts 1 and 2 for the first time last year, and I really loved them. I'm kind of surprised that Psychonauts 1 isn't on Switch already because it fits right in, and it's been ported to a lot of things. It had a PS3 port, it had a PS4 port, the Xbox original version was on 360, and then it got backwards compatibility with Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, and I played it on my Xbox One S last year, and it ran great. And then I finally played Psychonauts 2, ran decently on an Xbox One S, ran great on a Series X when I finished it. So if it could run on a clunky One S, I feel like it could run decently well on a Switch, and I think a lot of people would love it, and it's a good opportunity to get more people into the series because it's a platformer, fits right in with Nintendo's brand, and they're just great games, and I really hope they get shown today. It would be awesome to introduce that game and game series to a new crowd since it's only been on PlayStation and Xbox in the past. So that would be very cool. Gonna end off with a couple big ones for me. Let's start with Persona. Persona 3, 4, and 5 were revealed for Xbox and PlayStation 4 and 5 this month at the Xbox Game Showcase. I can't believe that they chose 3 portable. I know a lot of people like it because of the gameplay choices that you have within battle, but aside from that, it is the watered down version of Persona 3. It's basically a point and click game, and that to me is not a good way to have a social simulation game, and your only range of free movement is when you're doing battles or roaming around the dungeon. I don't like that. For Golden, I'm not a Persona 4 fan at all. I've tried it too many times and dropped it too many times, so If it comes to Switch, cool. I'll probably buy it again because I'm a sucker like that. But I don't really like the game. That's just me, and I know people love it. I love 3 and 5 the most. But I will give 4 Golden another golden try if it comes to Switch. But I ain't holding my breath for me liking it again. Persona 5 Royal. People have wanted Persona 5 on Switch for years. It could happen. It is a PS3 game natively for the vanilla version. Persona 5 Royal is natively a PS4 game. So, let's balance the options, see what can happen. What would be cool is if the Switch got all different versions than the PS4 and Xbox will be getting. So, like, Switch will get Persona 3 FES, they'll get the vanilla Persona 4, and they'll get the vanilla Persona 5. That would be very unique. Will they do it? Probably not, because they've outlawed that original version of Persona 4 a long time ago, and I don't think they would port over the vanilla version of 5 when Royal is so much better, even if it is a native PS4 game. FES is up in the air, but I could see that also just being portable, just like how it will be on PS4, 5, and Xbox. Alright, next up. Kingdom Hearts. I pray, and I hope, and I pray, and I hope, and I pray for native versions. Because I have never been more proud of the internet and a fan base for actively speaking their minds on the Kingdom Hearts Switch versions and how god awful they are and how awful cloud streaming is. I've been waiting for years for those games. Just 1.5 and 2.5, mind you. Not even 2.8 or 3. Just 1.5, 2.5. I've been waiting years for those games to get a native port to the Switch that I could buy and that I could display. When I found out that they were doing all the games on the Switch in Sora's presentation last year, I completely lost it. And then I completely lost it in a bad way when I saw it was cloud streaming. Because that's bullshit. And what happened when it came out? It was bullshit. It was awful. I tried the demo for it, and there's so much input lag, and like it visually looked fine, but like some things would cut in and out, the music would glitch out. It was so bizarre and it was so bad. And I really hope Square Enix saw people complain about it, because they can make so much money if they just do a native port of those games on the Switch. They could be rolling in it. I will buy all of them over again, and you don't even have to do 3 or 2.8. You could just do 1.5, 2.5, and Dream Drop HD. That's it. That's all I want, and I'm sure that's really all that anybody else wants. 3's a pretty taxing game. You could run that game on some pretty high settings. So I'm not going to ask, I'm not going to ask for every game. I just want the PS2 games and the PS3 remasters. They could give us any version of those games they want. They could either do the PS3 1.5 and 2.5, or they could do the PS4 1.5, 2.5. From what I understand, it was the PS4 version because it was both of them combined. But they don't have to do that. They could just give us the PS3 port. Whatever's going to be easier. I know it's not easy to port a PS3 game, but, whatever they want to do, I really hope that shows up. I really do. Okay. Last couple ones here. Bayonetta 3 is tricky. Is Bayonetta considered third party anymore? It was once upon a time, but I believe Nintendo now owns Bayonetta. So I don't really know. It is Platinum Games. It's not developed mainly by Nintendo. Nintendo helps, but it's not a Nintendo game. So therefore, I guess it has just as much of a chance showing up here as any of the rare games on 64, as much as GoldenEye has a chance. So it it's possible. I don't know if it will happen. I think it needs to happen if it's going to come out anytime this year. I was going to originally place this internally for me in October, but now the next game that we have to talk about is placed in October due to a leak. Just like the rest of the announcements the series has had, it's been leaks and leaks and leaks. Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope, the second game of the Mario & Rabbids series. Looking forward to it, even though I never beat the first one because it's ridiculously hard. They showed some screenshots on one of Ubisoft's websites today. Looks like Mario & Rabbids. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to hear the Grant Kirkhope music most of all because Grant's my favorite composer of all time, and he makes fantastic music, and the first one had fantastic music, and this one will also probably have fantastic music. So, at least we have fantastic music to look forward to. Next up, let's continue on the Grant Kirkhope trend a little bit. Playtonic Games has been very, very quiet. Very quiet. They are still publishing games because they have expanded into publishing. They've published so many little indie games in the last couple months. They haven't said anything about their next game or their next games because I think they have more than one in development. The last time we heard about it was in October. I think it was October 28th when they announced that Tencent purchased a minority stake within the company, even though people thought that was a bad thing at first because Tencent's pretty much a black plague of the gaming industry. From my understanding, they have full creative control over everything that they do. It's not like when Microsoft bought Rare from Nintendo or any of these other, acquisitions or merges like Blizzard with Vicarious Visions and stuff like that. It's nothing like that, so they still have, full creative control on what they do. They have announced that they are working on a sequel to the original Yooka-Laylee that came out 5 years ago, and we have not seen it at all. We don't even know a name of it. Today would be a very cool way to announce it, and I really hope they do because it's been now 3 years since Impossible Lair got announced and released, and I think that they might do the same for Yooka-Laylee, and I'm going to call it Yooka-Laylee. It was kind of teased in that press release that they put out when they got the Tencent buyout, because they said they're working on their next game they're working on projects and next game including, and then they started to write it out, T ... and then they joked that their fax printer ran out. So I really think it's going to be called Yooka-Laylee. It should be called Yooka-Laylee. It makes the most sense. Goes along with BanjoKazooie, Yooka-Laylee. It writes itself. I would love to see this game here, and I would love to see them do a 3-month turnaround. No, 4-month turnaround, like they did when they revealed Impossible Lair. They revealed Impossible Lair around E3 2019, and then 4 months later in October, they released it. So I would love to see them do the same thing, because they've been quiet for a long time. It's not like when they originally revealed Yooka-Laylee, and they put it on Kickstarter, and they had to have the funding, and they had to make it, and then they had to learn how to do a platformer after 20 years or so, or 15 years, so they don't have all those obstacles and hurdles that they once had with the original Yooka-Laylee. And hell, even with Impossible Lair, they pumped that out pretty quick. They pumped that out within two and a half years of being done with the first Yooka-Laylee, and they changed the entire way the game played, or, you know, because it's obviously a 2D platformer like Donkey Kong Country, so they changed the entire game genre. They put in the overworld map, which was kind of like a mini Zelda game in its sense. So, and that game was fantastic. That was a really fun game, even though it was brutally hard. That was a fantastic game, and I'm really excited to see what they can do with another 3D platformer, because Yooka-Laylee wasn't perfect, but also wasn't horrible like everybody says it was. It was a good game. I really loved my time with it, even though it did bug me for, you know, some of it, not too much. But I would love to see Yooka-Laylee pop up here and have a release date for October. And I think that's something that they could do. Okay, I'm pretty sure I nailed everything. Talked about Mario and Rabbids. Talked about all the third-party stuff. I was thinking to myself, was Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD developed internally or by a separate studio? Because I remember some separate studios worked on some of the remakes, remasters, ports for Zelda, etc. Twilight Princess HD was developed, ported, remastered by a third-party, Tantalus Software. Wind Waker HD was developed, ported, remastered, etc. by Nintendo EAD. So that's them internally. That's their first-party studio. So we have a half of a game that's technically third-party if they are porting the Wii U version, which I would imagine they are. It's not possible. Not likely in my eyes, but who knows? I could see it happening. I'll give it a 15% chance, if that, maybe 10. I don't think it will be here, even though I would love it to be. This was another game I was going to insert internally in my mind into September, October, but since it's a mini partner showcase, who the hell knows when this thing's gonna come out now? And I think it's been sitting for a while too. I think they've had that done for a long time from what I've heard. And same thing with the Metroid Prime remake, remaster, whatever the hell you want to call it. I think they've been done with that for a long time too. It's sitting in a warehouse somewhere, probably ready to be shipped. Same with Advance Wars. It really boggles my mind that they decided to do a direct mini partner showcase and not just a regular direct. They have a lot to talk about still, in my opinion. There's still a lot we need to know about going for the rest of the year. They've only had one big direct this year, and that was in February, and half the games are out already that they, or, you know, a majority of the games are out already that they showed in that, like Switch Sports, Strikers, you know, Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, Live Alive's coming out next month. There's a lot in there that that's come out already. So we really need to know what's next. And we really don't have a super clear window of what the second half of 2022 looks like for them. But I'm sure this will clean it up a little bit. But this is also third party. Usually, if it's first party, they have almost one big release every month. So it's very odd that they don't have a regular direct. But I guess Bayonetta will be considered first party if that does show up. Mario and Rabbids in a way, but not that I count really. And finally, the last thing to talk about in this lengthy 35-minute going on prediction video. Will BanjoKazooie come back? My vote is yes. I think there's a chance. Not because of it not showing up at Microsoft's show, but because they have teased a G Fuel collaboration with BanjoKazooie to be revealed on Wednesday. Now, this might be the oddest way for a game to leak, in my opinion. Because I'm trying to think to myself, okay, I've seen G Fuel do stuff with Sonic, Crash Bandicoot, games like that. But Banjo? A series that hasn't had a game out in 14 years? That's a little weird. What kind of render of BanjoKazooie are they going to use on that? One from 1998? Doubt they want to have them put nuts and bolts Banjo on there. It got me thinking, because it's very odd. Why would you do a BanjoKazooie collaboration and use a 23, 24-year-old render of BanjoKazooie? Or a render of BanjoKazooie from a game that wasn't universally liked by Banjo fans? Or a Smash Bros. Render. Now you're paying Nintendo royalties. It's all this stuff you got to think about, and it's just freaking weird. What are they going to use for this? There hasn't been any new Banjo renders besides Smash. So what kind of artwork are they going to use on this thing? What are they promoting? With G Fuel, not G Fuel, with Crash, it's like Wumpa flavored, and it's promoting Crash 4, and has the Crash 4 render of Crash on there. What are they going to do for Banjo? Promote a 20-year-old game? I don't understand it. And the only way it makes sense is if they have a new Banjo game get revealed today. And that will break a chunk of the internet. Not everybody's a Banjo fan, I get that, but people have been wanting this Banjo, just Banjo. People have been wanting Banjo for a long damn time. And I think it's going to happen, because what the hell are they going to use on this G Fuel product? Like I just said, you're not going to use a 24-year-old render. You're not going to use something from Smash Bros. You're not going to use blocky Banjo and weird-looking Kazooie from Nuts and Bolts. It's going to be a brand new render of the Baron Bird from whatever thing that they have coming out next, whether it's a remake, whether it's Banjo Redooey, Banjo 3, the fabled, prestigious, long-awaited Banjo 3. I'm going to go more so for a remake, Banjo Redooey, and it comes out for both Xbox and Switch. And that's my prediction for Banjo. Now, if we see Banjo here, we probably won't see Tooka-Laylee, which is fine. It's a fair trade-off. If we don't see Banjo, there could be Tooka-Laylee. Although, if they're going to reveal Banjo, besides Mario and Rabbids, Banjo has a big chance of being the last thing that they show, because it will be, like I said, the big news breaker, aside from like a Red Dead 2, GTA 5 getting ported. That will break a chunk of the internet. Banjo's been gone for a long time. People want Banjo back. People went apeshit when that Jiggy hit the floor in Smash Bros. It's time for me, and I think it's time for a lot of other people too. And because of this G Fuel thing, it's fueling my prediction that Banjo's showing up here. So I will grab my makeup. I will get ready to paint my face to be a clown once again, because I got hyped up for Xbox's showcase. But yeah, I will grab my face paint. I will apply it soon, and we'll all cry and weep, and we'll be disappointed, like always. But that's gonna do it for me this time, guys. I gotta go edit this thing real quick, put it out, because in less than 3 hours we have the Nintendo Direct Partner Mini Showcase. 40 minutes of talking to myself, good God. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Go subscribe to my multiplayer channel, 4Player Gamers. Link is in the description below, where we usually do podcasts and discussions like this, where it's just more than one person talking. I gotta go save my energy, my breath, and whatever else of energy I have in my body for this direct in 3 hours. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Give it a thumbs up. I will see you in 3 hours, possibly, if I could set my camera and tripod up. We'll see how that goes. But enjoy the direct, guys. Hope whatever you want to be shown shows up. And, yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks for watching.